1 year ago, Liverpool sat at the very top of English football. They had secured the Premier League title comfortably in Arne Slot's debut season. And what followed was one of the most exciting transfer windows in recent memory, with the arrivals of Alexander Isak, Florian Wirtz, and Hugo Ekitike. Expectations were sky high. Many believed this was the beginning of a brand new era at Merseyside under Arne Slot. But 1 year on, that dream has turned into a nightmare. Liverpool have completely fallen apart this season. They were knocked out of the Champions League after a humiliating 4-0 defeat to PSG in the quarterfinals. They crashed out of the FA Cup after being destroyed by Manchester City at the Etihad. And as far as the league, that race was over a long time ago. Liverpool are now fighting just to secure a top 5 finish. To make things worse, Hugo Ekitike is facing a lengthy spell on the sidelines with an Achilles injury. Isak is still not back to full fitness. Wirtz continues to struggle to find his best form, and club legends like Mohamed Salah and Andy Robertson are both set to leave at the end of the season. With all of this uncertainty, even Arne Slot's future at Anfield is now seriously in doubt. So, how did it all go wrong so fast? We are going to break down everything, and if you enjoy the video, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and share it with as many as people as possible. Now let's get into it. One of Liverpool's biggest problems this season has been their complete ineffectiveness on the wing. Last season, Mohamed Salah was an absolute beast, unplayable on his day, but this season he has been a shadow of his former self. On the opposite wing, Cody Gakpo has had his own struggles, failing to deliver the consistency Liverpool desperately needed. And the departure of Luis Diaz has hit the club harder than many people had anticipated, leaving a void that simply hasn't been filled. Rio Ngomoa has shown bright sparks here and there, but he is still very raw and is not yet ready to carry the kind of responsibility at this level. Slot has also shown very little trust in Federico Chiesa out wide, and attempts to deploy Jeremy Frimpong or Florian Wirtz on the wing have yielded little to no result. The numbers tell the full story. Last season, Mo Salah alone scored 29 Premier League goals and Diaz added 13 from the wings. This season, Mo Salah has just managed 6 league goals and Diaz is gone entirely. With the wings so ineffective, Liverpool have become almost entirely dependent on their central strikers for goal. It is no surprise then that Liverpool have badly struggled to find the back of the net consistently throughout this season. Another massive problem for Liverpool this season has been a lack of. Last season, the midfield was one of the biggest strengths. Gravenberch won the Premier League Young Player of the Season award and McAllister was one of the most influential midfielders in the league. But this season, both have been shadows of their former self. McAllister has managed just 2 goals and 2 assists in 31 Premier League appearances, a dramatic drop from his title-winning form. He has created only 12 chances this season compared to 28 last season and 45 the season before. A stat that will tell you everything about his drop in influence. Gravenberch, meanwhile, has recorded just 4 goals and 3 assists in the Premier League this season. Decent numbers on paper for a defensive midfielder, but his performances have lacked the authority and dominance that made him so special last year. Apart from Szoboszlai, who has been Liverpool's only bright spark in midfield, nobody else has consistently stepped up and taken control of the games. The result? Liverpool have been far too easy to press, easy to bypass and easy to beat in the middle of the park. Without that midfield engine running at full power, the entire team has suffered, and it has shown badly in the result this season. One of the most shocking collapses this season has been Liverpool's defense, an area that was an absolute fortress just 12 months ago. Last season, Konate and Van Dijk were arguably the best centre-back partnership in the Premier League, dominant in the air, commanding on the ball, and practically unbeatable together. But this season, both have been well below their best. Konate in particular has had a tough season with his struggles highlighted in a disastrous 4-1 defeat to PSV where he was rated the worst player on the pitch. directly at fault for PSV's third goal. Van Dijk wasn't much better that night either, giving away a penalty and winning just 33% of his duels. That was far from an isolated incident. Van Dijk has been inconsistent throughout the campaign, and for a player of his standard, that simply is not good enough. The fullback situation has been just as worrying. On the left, Milos Kerkez has shown promise but has still not fully settled into the demands of the Liverpool system. And on the right, it has been nothing short of a revolving door. Soboslai filling in at the start, then Bradley, and now Frimpong. No consistency, no established first choice, no stability. Liverpool have conceded 42 goals in the Premier League this season, a dramatic rise from the tight, well-organized backline that helped them win the title last year. When your defense leaks like this, you simply cannot compete at the top of the table. Perhaps the most concerning issue of all, and the one that underpins every other problem on his list, is that Liverpool simply have no clear identity this season. Last season, Arne Slot had his system nailed down. Liverpool played a fluid 4-3-3 with Diaz operating brilliantly as a false nine rather than a traditional striker. The midfield three controlling games with authority, and the whole setup feel remarkably familiar to the Klopp's era that fans had loved for nearly a decade. The players knew their role, trusted the system, and it showed the results. But this season, with a different, completely overhauled squad full of new faces, Slot has been forced to constantly tinker. Different formations, different shapes, different combinations, all in an attempt to accommodate the new signings and find something that works. And yet, nothing has stuck. There is no recognizable style of play, no consistent structure, and no clear philosophy that you can point to and say, that is Arne Slot's Liverpool. That identity crisis has had a knock-on effect on everything. Players look uncertain, the team looks disorganized, and the results have reflected that confusion week and week. The biggest question hanging over Anfield right now is not just whether Liverpool can finish in the top 5, it is whether Arne Slot can rediscover his best ideas, impose a clear system on the ground, and rebuild this club from ground up. The answers to those questions will define Liverpool's next chapter. And right now, nobody seems to have them. So, there you have it. A club that was celebrating a Premier League title just 12 months ago is now scrambling to secure a top 5 finish. Ineffective wingers, a misfiring midfield, a leaky defense, key injuries at the worst possible time, and absolutely no clear identity on the pitch. It has been a perfect storm of problems, and Liverpool have been caught right in the middle of it. Whether Arne Slot gets the time and backing to turn this around remains to be seen. The departure of legends like Mo Salah and Robertson marks the end of an era, and rebuilding will not happen overnight. But one thing is for certain. The Liverpool we saw last season feels like a very distant memory. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. It genuinely means everything. If you enjoyed the content, please hit that like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you.